All right, today we're going to be taking a look at a very unique product. This is made by Vesta, and what this is, I've never seen anything like this before, but this is a grill slash space heater. Now, it works. It's a grill that takes, if I can get them here, it takes 3 sterno cans. And that's what I think it's mainly supposed to be. It's just like a regular grill. Put your 3 sterno cans in here, cook you a hot dog or something. But what it has is this heater attachment that has a bunch of fins on the inside. Maybe you can see the fins better from here. Has a lot of fins to pick up the heat. And then on the back, it just has one of those fans. I forget what these things are called. Maybe it says it on it. It just says heat-powered stove fan. It's just one of those fans that you would put like on top of a wood stove or something, and then the heat makes it blow. You just sit this on here, and that's it. And the idea is the sterno sits down there, builds up heat, the heat kicks on the fan, and then the fan will blow out the heat. You have a heater. So what I want to do is, first of all, get the sterno cans in there, fire it up, see if it puts out some heat. This is probably stupid. You probably should never do this. But I want to put this thing inside of my truck, which is outside in the cold, and then take some temperature measurements of the inside of the truck and see if this thing could be useful for, like maybe vehicle camping, maybe a small tent, something like that. It has a little tray right here on the bottom. Just slides out. You have your markings, 1, 2, and 3. Two and 3, and then what you're supposed to do is you're supposed to pull up on these wicks and then kind of fan them out, and that's supposed to give you some more heat. Keep in mind, this probably will use up the fuel a lot faster because these cans are supposed to last 6 hours, but I imagine that means 6 hours if you light them with the wicks the way that they came. Now, how much quicker this can's going to burn, I don't know. And then we should just be able to light them up. For some reason, whatever kind of fuel these sterno cans use, the flame is kind of tough to see. That's a lot of heat coming off of them. I don't think I'm going to test this just because I feel like it's a little bit too dangerous to do. But say we're going to use the example of putting these in my truck. I'm curious if there would be a difference between just taking 3 of these and then just letting them burn inside the truck versus using this. Because technically, all the heat would still be getting released into the same space. This just has a fan to kind of direct it. And I guess this could be a little bit safer because it's contained in metal and it's not an open flame. So let's slide this in here. That was totally wrong. Come on. There we go. And then I forgot to mention, on the back of the unit, this is why I couldn't, see, I played with this beforehand, but it's been a few days. On the back of it, there's a snuffer that slides into the bottom, and the snuffer kind of like pins itself up against the tray and keeps it snug in there. Yeah, that's why it was difficult to get in there. Okay, so I guess we just wait for the heat to build up. And then the fan should start. Oh, that fan is getting ready to start. I don't know how well you can see it. I mean, I hope it gets better than this. That's actually quite a bit of heat. Although the fan isn't really doing too much. Like if you put your hand here, even like right here, you don't really feel that much heat. You just can kind of feel it radiating a little bit, but then if you put your hand here, then that's where all the heat is. So the fan's not doing a very good job of blowing it. It's just kind of directing it a little bit out and up to like right here. I'm gonna let this thing sit, I don't know, maybe like 5 minutes. Let it kind of fully heat up, and then we'll see if that speeds up the fan and if it gets any better. All right, it's been about 5 minutes, and I'm sure you can probably hear it. The fan is actually going much harder now, and I can feel the hot air blowing out probably like here or so. Yeah, it's no longer stuck like right here. I say about right here is probably the sweet spot. You know, whatever that is, maybe 2 feet, something like that. I'm happy to see that there's much more airflow. Let's get some temperature readings. Right here on the front grate, we got about 250 degrees, 249.2. The top, only 132. The side, about 195. This case, which I can tell I know is hot, because I just burned myself off camera moving this thing over. 240 on this case right here. Maybe let's go down to like the bottom part of the case. 176.9. So it definitely is cooler at the bottom, but that's still hot. Let's snuff these things out before we move them outside. I can feel this thing is like crazy hot. Can I? Ah, look at that. Big brain. I guess you just... And another thing I forgot to mention, before I just snuffed those out, just in the 5 minutes that I had this thing running, it stinks in here. I don't know if, I'm assuming this is just the way sterno cans smell whenever you burn them, but they stink. It, like, I don't even know how to describe it. It's just a very strange smell. It almost smells like some type of food's going bad or something. It's not a good smell. So unfortunately, I'm expecting that my truck is just going to reek of this smell, but maybe we'll get lucky. So let's get this thing outside and let's see if it can heat up the truck. All right, here's what we got. I got it sitting in the back of the truck, just sitting on a piece of 2x6 to kind of insulate it. The fan just started spinning again. I kind of let it cool down. I can feel that it's blowing out some air. So it's going to sit in the back. And then we have 20.7% oxygen and 29.7, I almost said 29.7% degrees. It's 29.7 degrees and we have 20.7% oxygen. And then I do have a carbon monoxide meter that we will check with after an hour. So that's where we're at right now. Come back in an hour. All right, it's been 1 hour and it's not looking good. I don't know how well you can see, but you can see right there, that little red blinking light. That means that the oxygen, well, you can kind of see it, 17.4. That means the oxygen is dangerously low. So let's see where we're at. Oh, it stinks in here bad. So 17, okay, well now it's going up because the door is open, but it was 17.4, which I believe is like dangerously low. And we're up to 57.6 degrees. Okay, so that's definitely no good. And then I have the carbon monoxide detector. See if we'll pick anything up. Might be kind of tough since clearly I can't stay in here the whole time. Oh. Yeah, if you're in here, you're done for. Low oxygen and carbon monoxide. How high will it go? Okay, well now it's going down since the door's open. But 118? I'll have to double check, but I think that's also very, very dangerous. So it's not looking good. Of course, now we're back up to 20 now that the door's been open. Although 56 degrees is in an hour from 29, that's kind of impressive. All right, so in conclusion, the heat rise, or the temperature increase, was pretty good, pretty impressive. I feel like it does put out a good amount of heat, and it is pretty good at heating a space. On the downside, if you try to exist in the space in which it is heating, you're a goner. Because you got high carbon monoxide, low oxygen. Those are all the recipes for a permanent nap, as the kids say. So that's no good, which that kind of sucks. Because in order to utilize the heat that this thing is putting out. And if you're going to use that heat in a small space, which clearly this thing is designed to heat small enclosed spaces. So in order to use that heat, you'd have to, crack a window, probably crack a couple windows or something if you're using it inside of a vehicle. And then there goes all your heat. So you're not really going to get to utilize any of the heat because you got to keep the windows cracked so that way you can, stay alive. So it kind of just makes this thing useless. Like, it's a cool idea, and I like the idea, of utilizing the heat from the sterno and the fan and all that. It's just not practical because, like I said, you can't use it in an enclosed space. You can't really use it in a large space because it doesn't have enough BTUs to heat a large space. So it's just kind of like stuck in the middle, like, what do you do with the thing? And I forgot to mention, it's $130. So that's another knock to it. I don't know. I think it's cool, but it's not really something that you can really use. The only maybe kind of useful thing I can think of for it is if you were outdoors and maybe you just wanted like a warm place to kind of like warm up your hands in front of something, then it would be all right for that. But if that's all you're looking for, why spend the $130 whenever you could just buy the sterno cans, get 3 of them, light those, and then just hold your hands above that? Yeah, I don't really recommend it, but I think it's kind of cool. So, thank you so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll see you in the next one.